In this video, I'm going to show you 7 habits that clearly reveal you don't have good table manners. Hello, welcome to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. I'm Juliana Santiago, an international etiquette specialist, and today I'm going to show you 7 habits that make it obvious you have no knowledge of table etiquette. I know this is a topic you really enjoy following here. Table etiquette videos always get a lot of attention. And today I brought a 7-point guide for you to pay attention to and not make mistakes. The first point is sitting any old way. When we're at the table during a meal, we need to pay even more attention to the way we sit. Ideally, you shouldn't rest your back against the back of the chair. If you observe my posture, it changes a lot when I'm like this. Notice, compared to when I'm like this. Do you see? Look, here I'm leaning back and here I'm not. When I'm not leaning my back against the backrest of the chair, when I don't rest my back on the chair's backrest, I have better posture. That gives me a little more control. To handle the cutlery, the napkin, my glasses, and I can manage everything in a more precise way. So if I were to eat, for example, sitting with my back against the chair, I would be too far from the table. It would end up being a big mess, a lot of dirt, and it wouldn't be nice. So avoid staying with your back against the chair. Agreed? Always leave a distance of a golf ball. Trust me, it will be much better for you to manage your behavior. Not to mention that it also shows much more presence in the environment. Eating in a hurry or excessively is also something that really sets you apart. First point, serve yourself in moderation. There's no need for you to fill your entire plate. Contrary to what many people think, it's not wrong to go back for seconds. So yes, you can. If there's a buffet with the food presented there, you can go back for more food. That's not a breach of etiquette. It's actually a much bigger mistake to serve yourself and put too much food on your plate. So serve yourself in moderation. That's the first thing that will help you avoid overdoing it. Also remember to eat slowly. So keep pace with the other people sharing the table with you. When you eat too quickly, it shows anxiety. It shows that you don't want to share that moment or talk with the other people. It seems like you just want to eat, not to mention that it's not even good for your health or your sense of fullness. After all, nutritionists always tell us that we have to chew at least about 10 times, right? This helps us control our sense of fullness and aids in the digestion process. And of course, it makes our elegance and our posture at the table much better. Since we can pay attention to what the other person is saying during a conversation at the table, we can experience that moment more and enjoy the process. Still picking up on this idea of eating in a hurry, we need to emphasize here that we need to respect other people's pace. So first point, okay? When you're about to start eating and there's a host at that event, at that table, someone invited you to a restaurant, remember to wait for the host to start eating, okay? That's interesting too. If you're at a table that you're sharing with many people, the ideal thing is to wait until everyone has been served before you start eating. If it's a very, very big party, sometimes at a wedding, there's a table with 20 people, which is very common these days. A trend from other countries that ended up arriving in Brazil, this style of dinner where people sit and everyone is there being served their dishes. The ideal is to wait until at least 70 or 80% of the table has been served before you start eating. Otherwise, if there are only a few people sharing that table with you, the ideal is to wait until everyone has been served. Remember that the first person to start the meal is the host. They are the one who gives this silent signal. But it's also a good idea to wait for the other people. Still talking about the pace, it's important for us to remember that we shouldn't disrupt other people's meals. Just as it's important to wait until everyone is served, it's also essential not to leave in the middle of the meal. It's not appropriate. Why? That makes you disrupt the flow of that moment. So ideally, we should only leave the table when it's absolutely necessary. When you go to a restaurant, for example, if you want to go to the restroom, ideally, you should go before starting the meal. Once it starts, it's not a good idea for you to leave and come back. It's something that even shows respect for other people. The cell phone is also something that can't be left out. Every time we talk about table etiquette, it seems like I have to repeat the issue of using the cell phone. More and more people are normalizing putting their cell phones next to them, as if it's even part of the table's decoration in that setting. So, it's not a good idea to leave your cell phone on the table. Keep your cell phone put away. Also, don't use your cell phone during the meal at the table. When you're there with someone, avoid fiddling with your cell phone because it shows the other person that what's happening there. On your social media, on your cell phone, your notifications, they are much more important than actually building that relationship and that moment with that person. So keep your cell phone put away. If it's something of extreme importance and you need to interrupt that moment to answer your cell phone, do it discreetly and excuse yourself to the person. Okay? But just by not leaving your cell phone out in the open, not showing that you're attached to your phone, that is already extremely elegant and fundamental for building good table manners. Touching your hair during a meal is also something we need to pay attention to. Running your hand through your hair. Many men often have a habit of repeatedly fixing it. Pompadour. And this is often associated with a habit that the person usually has. In most cases, if you have the habit of running your hand through your hair, I hate to tell you this, but at the table, this won't be accepted. You can't run your hand through your hair and then put your hand on the food, even if it's on the cutlery. Pay attention to this. After all, many times you might order a snack that's going to be shared. It's not a good idea. In the case of women, be careful with your hair falling over the table too. Mine is tied up today. But often, if you have longer hair, remember to put your hair back so it doesn't get in the way in your behavior at the table. And also avoid making movements that you're used to, because usually these movements are associated with people who sometimes feel insecure, a habit that a person has to make themselves feel more secure. So it's important for us to reinforce that. Now, something I want to emphasize here with you is your like. Have you already liked this video and subscribed to the Etiquette e Protocolo channel? Your support is crucial for growing the channel, and I hope you stick around. The napkin is not just a decoration, and it shouldn't be ignored. Many people, when they see a cloth napkin, especially at a party or an event, they ignore it. They ask, "Can I have a napkin?" If the cloth napkin is there, the person chose to use that item. So everything that's here on my table, I chose to use, and if I chose it, it should be part of the dining process. And it's essential that we understand how to use the napkin. You should always keep the napkin on your lap, and it should be placed on your lap. As soon as the host moves their napkin and places it on their lap. If there isn't a host, then you can place it as soon as you sit down. Always remember that the fold of the napkin should be facing you to make it easier to handle. The napkin shouldn't be on your thigh. It should be at your waist level because that will make it easier to use. And when you're done using it, just place it on the left side. Remember that in the Etiquette and Good Manners training at Individualized Education program, we have a module that talks only about table etiquette. The course has several modules, including modules on restaurant etiquette, party etiquette, and table etiquette. Digital communication, where we talk a lot about cell phone use, presence, posture, how to meet and interact with other people, and it will really complement your knowledge of behavior and etiquette. Point your cell phone at the QR code that's right here, or use the first link in the description of this video to go to our school's website, sign up, and take part in this training that has already been done by thousands of people all over the world. I'll be waiting for you there. Table etiquette also says a lot about connection, about enjoying that moment, about interacting with other people. That's why we need to understand how to have a good conversation, how to lead a chat. So it's important for us to avoid monopolizing the conversation. If there's one thing that's inappropriate in any circumstance, it's someone who only talks about themselves and doesn't let others speak. At the table, everyone is together to have this moment of connection. So it's really important to let other people participate too. And even though it may not seem like table etiquette, it's essential when we're so close to other people, because the table is like that. It's that moment when we're going to connect, when we're going to talk, because it's natural for conversation to happen, for the need to talk to come up. So it's essential for us to think about these aspects. And I know it seems like something simple, but class is something that's in the smallest details. That's why I already made a video about 12 mistakes that discreetly make you look classless. I think you should watch it. It's right here for you to check out.